All right. Hello, everyone. Are we all good now?
Yeah.
All right,
We're good.
cool. I don't know why. I still didn't hear the intro on my end, like
Mm.
from the board. But I guess if it's out there, it doesn't really matter to me. So,
We're here. We're live. We're doing
yeah.
shit live.
And this is what this is what this does. This is, this is life. Look around. Look at
Look around.
life. All right, hold on. So now we good? Like, can I trust what's going on right now?
Yeah. We're Gucci, fam. We're up
We're
and
good.
live.
Okay. Oh, I see it
Now
now.
Pat's got PTSD. He's
It's
like he's
true.
constantly worried about the stream now.
Post stream something disorder. All right. Anyway.
Have I dropped frames?
Yeah, pretty much. Have I dropped frames? All right. So we have some news here, there, guys. As we do always. What was I saying before? The one topic was so much easier, but now we're back to the variety hour. All right. So first up, boys. Microsoft's buying Discord they're putting in a
Well,
bid for $10 billion.
They're in talks to buy
They're
this.
in talks.
Well, I mean, I guess like no definitive they said no definitive offer has been made yet per se. But that being said, like is that something that you guys want? I think it's great.
I don't know. I'm kind of torn because Mike was saying this earlier. It just feels like you got a great platform. What's Microsoft gonna do other than fuck it up or make it like put it behind a paywall?
I guess, yeah, that's kind of my worry about it. I mean, Discord itself is kind of ridiculous that it's free already. Like, I mean, everybody knock on wood, but it's probably one of the more robust like messaging community and video conference platforms all free.
Mhm.
And I don't know, like I was saying earlier to these guys where Skype was, Skype. That was like the only video conferencing service, pretty much, the game runner. And then Zoom just boom out of the bat came and just put him to bed. So
And on that note, Zoom, if you're listening to me, which you're not, if you could put an NDI output in, that would be perfect.
We'd be on board at that
Yeah,
point.
I would
we'd be
buy
bopping
a
on Zoom.
license. Okay, we'd be bopping. That being said, question. So, have you guys thought about any of the pros of this would be? And I think I have a couple.
Give it to us.
I got some for you negative Nancy's out there. Okay.
That's us.
You bunch of Nancy's. Anyway, first of all, economically, just by them talking about this, Microsoft shares went up 1.2%. So the value of the company literally increased overnight. The second thing is that Nitro is their premium service on Discord, right? Like you pretty much can like just that's like for you to get like the 1080 streaming and for you to have like the 1080 web conferencing, and you can upload large file sizes and all that shit, right? Think about that bundled with Game Pass.
That's what I was thinking.
It makes you think a little bit differently now. It's like,
I
a
was
monetized
thinking
service that I'm
'cause-
getting again from Microsoft.
Yeah.
Imagine what that could do for streaming. You know what I mean? Imagine Discord on consoles. Makes you think.
Discord on consoles would be cool. The issue I have with them trying to get into it as maybe capturing it as a streaming platform in space is that like I feel it's going to diversify the market a little bit too much, and like it's going to be harder for content creators to, like Twitch is the main one right now, and YouTube's the big competitor. I'd say you have Mixer and you have all those
For
other little
streaming,
ones,
right?
For streaming, I'm talking about.
For sure.
If you bring in
So-
the Discord community management is the huge factor because every person on Twitch I know has a Discord community.
And then the other thing I just want to add. No, go ahead, Nick.
I was just gonna say, if you check out that Verge article that I dropped in our show notes, it talks about like Microsoft's trying to build a community. That's the one thing that they're lacking, and all the other major players are missing. Microsoft doesn't have that loyal fan base like all these other platforms. Amazon now has Twitch. Apple has to
I
market
really
on
don't
like
like
apps
that
and
though.
stuff like this. So this is their way to kind of get in touch with these creators and have a platform of creators.
Nick, what are you talking about? Xbox Live is the most.
Yeah.
Yeah, but dude, there's a
Xbox
difference.
Live.
Like, dude, I had to have a PS5 the day it came out, even though like no games have come out in 3 months. I had to have it. Xbox is for your mom to this is going to sound terrible. Xbox is for moms to shop at Christmas so Timmy has something to play Fortnite on. That's what it's for.
And Minecraft.
That being said, just to back up that metric, right? Hardcore gamers know the ins and outs of the consoles or the hardware that they're going to buy. Okay? Like, hey, look at the fucking name of this show right there in the corner. All right? When the Xbox Series X was announced, right? I think it was something like 100,000 Xbox One X's were bought off Amazon accidentally because, you know, moms were just trying to get them for Christmas. So they didn't know what they were buying.
Nintendo for little Jimmy.
It's for very casual gamers. The price didn't change at all. All right,
It's for Dan Kilkenny.
Granted, yes, they are in a lot of homes, and Xbox is defined as some, you know, transcendent experience now. Anyway, they are, what's it called? They if this is their way of trying to build a community, go for it. 10 billion though, god damn. Imagine being the guys who started Discord. Like, oh my god, they're gonna buy this shit.
Didn't I just hear recently? I don't know if we talked about it, but I heard that Discord was trying to diversify and move away from being a gaming platform or for gamers, trying to make it just your run-of-the-mill messaging live communication.
They're gonna piss a lot of people off.
They're trying to do what like where Twitch did it when Twitch was like, we're not just gaming, we have just chatting, we have music, we have fitness, we have that. They're trying to just again be like, we have this platform, what can we matrix it out and market capitalize on all the market share for it.
Right. Which I think they could compete with Zoom. You know what I mean? I feel like they have a much better platform than Zoom.
Or Slack, you know.
Slack.
So
Like,
it's interesting.
Do they have any like business plans? I know you said that Nitro, but I mean, like, is there a business, you know, for
like a commercial grade product of
that would be interesting.
That would be interesting.
I would like to
I
see
mean,
how
if my company that I work for got Discord, I'd be so happy.
Well, I think it also depends on like who runs the company, because like I've heard in a couple of meetings before, like in previous experience, like people laugh at Discord, like scoff at it, but it's really quite a powerful tool. You know what I mean?
That's probably why they're trying to change that. You know, we're not just gamers,
right?
Well, I think this right here is going to help change that. The fact that Microsoft's sniffing them out for 10 billion, that's a big deal.
So a big point of this with Microsoft, looking back at the benefits too, Pat, is for work I audited like, you know, countless amounts of these kind of programs and Slack and different like, you know, SaaS products. Slack has a very high security rate, or like a security system and backend and firewall and everything, which is why a lot of corporations use it. If Microsoft gets on the game, upping Discord's like, you know, security and et cetera and everything like that, then there's no reason why companies wouldn't be using it.
No, I would agree with that. All right. So I guess, are we good on Discord? We good? Are we done with all this Discord? All right. Anyway.
Oh, I just want to say, Pat, you definitely sold me in the beginning. I was like, this is gonna ruin it, but that, you know, pairing it with Game Pass and all that stuff.
Yeah, makes it worth it, huh?
I'm kind of sold.
Yeah. So
if
that's.
They roll it out right.
I'll tell you what. Listen, none of us here are shy about what goes on after this stream. Okay. We immediately drop this Skype shit and we go straight to Discord and we fire up Rust. And I'm about 85% positive that's going to happen again tonight, which is fine. So I'm looking forward to it. It's the stream after party. That being said, I'm going to look into what Nitro is and see if it's worth its price right now. And if they put that into Game Pass, do I need to go make shirts for Microsoft to buy Discord? You know what I mean? Like, to see this through.
So Nitro is only $100 a year.
Yeah, but what does that get me though?
Mike,
better emojis.
Okay, all right.
Better
I don't care about.
You can support a server. It says here. I'm just looking there. You get rep support, bigger uploads, HD video.
Yeah. the streaming.
There's also Discord Nitro Classic, which is just like
Could you
some other
imagine
stuff for
being
50
such a
bucks a year.
massive streamer that your Discord community can just get through a paywall to get to a chat room where you just host a private stream for Discord members? That
People do that all the
type of shit
time.
is crazy to me. And I guess you can
That's-
only do that with Nitro.
Yeah. I mean, that's a huge thing. Like, I see a lot of people, and we'll jump to the next topic after this, but a lot of people's Patreons offer exclusive Discord streams.
Right.
Yeah.
That's
So-
cool. All right.
So one last thing before we move on, I will say if anybody watching this, all three of you out there, if anybody's interested in the after the show after party, like when we jump on Discord and watching us play video games, throw it in the chat. Let us know if that's something that you'd be interested in watching after the show.
Yeah, true. Because that would be fun. So
Yeah, I mean, we basically after every show we play video games. So
stream after party. What the fuck did I
Want
want
to hear us be toxic?
All right, yeah. Okay, so yeah. Here's what I want to get to. See, the problem is I wrote all these shorthand titles down, so I have something in my hand while I do this, and it's just I need the full thing. So, global shortage of semiconductors for processor chips has hit a crisis level, and that's a bad thing. That's a bad thing. You don't fucking want that. So I'm not sure how up you are. How in the know is the best way to say this. You guys are on a situation like this, but basically what's going on is that all of the semiconductors for processing chips that we use in literally every piece of technology that is currently in front of you, that you're watching this on, that your car is in, all that shit is at a massive shortage right now. And the demand is through the roof right now because everyone's stuck at home, but all the supply chains are damaged through the pandemic. So I did take some look.
all stuck in the Suez Canal.
Yeah. God damn it. Them too. That ship. All that ship's computers has semiconductors on that shit, bro.
Are we blaming the ship getting stuck in the canal due to a
Yes.
lack of semiconductors?
Well, I mean, I don't think one is the cause of the other. I think there's
I'm not an engineer.
I tend to believe, I mean, like, here's the thing. Nobody's died in that, right? Like, nobody's died in that whole situation, right?
Not
I mean-
that I know of.
Okay.
One of my favorite. I saw a really funny
I'm
meme
just-
that was like reject modern, and it it was the Suez Canal.
Yeah.
And it was like return to old, and it was everybody going around the bottom of Africa.
Right. I didn't understand that meme because I'm an idiot until I saw this one TikTok that was like, we'll have to find another way to India. And it goes around the bottom of Africa. It's like this old ship and it's singing and it says all the US shipping companies right now have to find
Cape of
another
Good Hope,
way.
baby.
Yeah, look at that.
There you go.
That looks like a screenshot from a James Bond movie, like a Daniel Craig James
It
Bond
is pretty
movie.
beautiful. If you look at
I will say I saw a perfect troll this morning of some guy on Twitter. It was just like, I don't understand. Why don't they just turn the boat? Like, there just sounds like they're just making this more complicated than it needs to be. And the people who are not understanding like what this guy was doing, they'd be like, it's not that simple. There's engineers trying to, just Twitter is just a platform where people on a near constant basis shit on each other. So they're just shitting on him. And he's just like saying things like, I just don't understand. Like, why don't honestly, like, why don't a bunch of people get on one side and a bunch of people get on the other and we all
Push it
push?
somewhere
It's like,
else.
I'd get it done in 10 minutes. There's no reason to overcomplicate this.
I
But
also saw a petition.org petition that was a petition to add a second boat.
yeah. I'm glad the internet exists for this reason. So everybody could get in on the joke pretty much, start the next
Right.
great meme.
I
But
bet the next boat is definitely going to be Bodie McBoatface.
Bodie McBoatface is coming back.
He needs to save the day.
So
Yeah.
the whole thing with this semiconductor shortage, which sucks, is that they don't see it going.
yeah.
They don't go. Oh yeah, that's right. The show. They don't see it going back to normal for a very long time. Like I can't remember. There's only 4 companies that make them. One of them Samsung. One of them is TSL. There's another 2. I talked with my buddy over the weekend, but basically, basically one of them don't even count because they don't really account for the world supply that much. Samsung and the other one are at like half capacity right now because that's how much they can safely produce. But then the other one like can't even get raw materials to like even make the shit right now. So there's a whole combination of things going on with the way the pandemic has really, hit the supply chain. And I mean, you even look at that picture that Nick put up of the ship, that right there. That's your problem, is the fact that they build these supply chains with capital in mind as opposed to sustainability in mind. And then you get, like, how wide is that canal?
It looks like 10 feet.
It's at least 10 feet wide.
At least.
All right. Well, they should have made it 12 feet so this shit wouldn't happen. You know what I'm saying? Like, they dug that canal to be just as wide as they needed it to be.
Well, the other crazy thing is that all the semiconductor production is just Asia. America doesn't have any semiconductor production or, like supply chains.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
it comes from several factors, economics, where the raw materials are mined, etc. Child labor,
child labor, which we don't endorse. All good stuff.
Which here at Nerd Shit Live, we do not condone child labor.
I'm not a fan.
We do benefit from it, but we're not happy about it.
And we'll keep trying to sell you things that have them in it. So
I mean, I think the main problem that how this is going to affect most people is that it's with Apple being like the #1 buyer globally and Samsung coming behind it. There's been a lot of delays in rolling out new smartphones.
Oh, that's true. I didn't get my new phone for a while.
The main, why should you care? Joe, random phone
Joe
Everyman. You can't get your precious iPhone 12 when it comes out.
I'll tell you why I care. Because nobody else can get a fucking PS5, and it's lonely. Okay, it's lonely out there being the only guy with a PS5 in a group. Okay, you know what that's like.
I've been trying to build a PC since January, and here I am on my laptop.
I've been trying to build a PS5.
I can't even get a fucking video how to build a PS5 on YouTube.
All I built was a damn Sega Genesis.
All right, so next up. WB and the #2 largest cinema retailer,
Regal.
exhibitionist, whatever, Regal. They struck a deal for a 45-day release exhibition in 2022, which is good because all the other movie studios were like, we ain't doing business with you anymore after you just sucked all the wind out of our sails. Or I think it was Regal who said they wouldn't. But right now, they have conceded they will put both movies in theaters and on HBO Max on the same day for the rest of 2021. But then in 2022, Regal gets WB movies for 45 days exclusively before it, goes to streaming. And then, what's it called? What's I going to say?
All right, so when you say exclusively, do you mean no other theaters or it's not going to go to streaming?
According to this, it sounded like it wasn't going to any other theaters.
What I saw in the article is it said it's likely that other theater chains will strike similar deals with WB. They're just the first so far.
They have to lash it out. They do have to lash it out, and they don't want to miss all those. But right now, it sounds like WB is exclusive to Regal. But the interesting part that I do want to talk about this, and it's a thing that's talked about all the time that I don't feel like we talk about enough in our inner circle, is like the release window for movies. It's just getting smaller and smaller and smaller. You know what I mean? I remember when Finding Nemo came out in like May, around that time, like Pixar summer movie, right? That movie was in theaters for literally all summer. Like it never left the movie theaters until like September of that year.
The Dark Knight also was like in theaters forever, I felt like.
Right. But that kind of goes back to my point. Over the years, the release window has just been getting smaller and smaller for movies. It's a crowded schedule now because everybody's got like 10 tentpole like powerhouse Marvel movies coming out a year, big superhero romps, lots of monies, because it turns out there's lots of money to be made at the movies. And interestingly, are pretty much like you can't just do that anymore. You can't have the biggest movie all year and have it be out for 3 or 4 months. You know what I mean? Now it's
I don't know, dude. Fucking Avatar's been out for 10 years and they're the biggest movie in all of movies.
yeah, Avatar repeated. They gotta shut that shit down. That should be illegal. Put
Their
that shit
movie's
back
been
out in the theaters.
for a fucking decade.
That's gotta get out of here.
Um,
What will be interesting though is, do you guys think they're gonna bring back some kind of version of Movie Pass?
well, yeah, the AMC stubs ran that shit into the ground though. I think
I'm
well,
just
everyone went
That's a lot of
proprietary.
fucking Movie Pass.
Everybody went proprietary though. So
I
if
know.
like you want to see a movie at a Regal, you buy the Regal pass. If you want to see a movie at AMC, you get the A-listers. And let me tell you something, every single time that flash goes by where they're like, and to our A-listers, thank you. I'm like, that's me. In the seat. All right, I feel good. All you motherfuckers, y'all spent money on this. But yeah, and as a matter of fact, I'm actually kind of kicking myself for not having it because I want to go see Godzilla vs. Kong in IMAX. Dude, there is no pandemic pricing at the movies. I'll tell you that much. All right, Jesus Christ. Also, let's make something clear about this. All right, let's talk about this for a second. Something that caught my attention while I was buying movie tickets today. They're operating at 40% capacity, right? And they have to have social distancing. So when you buy a seat, the seat in front of you, the seat behind you, seat next to you, and the seat next to you, unless you like someone else in your party's there, right? Are all not sold. Okay? That is not social distancing. Okay? A seat in between your party and the party next to you is not social distancing. That's called going to the movies. All right? There is no 6 feet of space between the two of you. That's not how that works.
No, dude, the theater chairs are fucking huge now. You're fine.
Nah, dude.
It's a twin-sized bed right now in a seat.
Nah, dude. I think Liz brought that up, actually. She was like, well, let's go to a different theater where there's, like, wider seats. And I was just like, yeah, but the IMAX. Like, that's what I want to see it in. The IMAX near my house.
The IMAX. They're gonna get that
IMAX has this laser disc magic shit now that they're doing. Apparently, it's, like, in 4K. I don't even know how that works. It's at the IMAX near my house, and I want to go see that, but they still have the old theater seats. They don't got the new shit yet. So it's not
disgusting.
Yeah, exactly.
Disgusting.
I stopped going there because there was stains on the screens. I was like, I can see stains through the colors. And one time they cleaned the screens and it smelled like a bathroom. It was so fucking weird. And like
they just showed Rocky Horror Picture Show before you got there.
Well, I stopped going there because this experience sucked. However, they do have the biggest IMAX theater, nicest IMAX like screen in town. Like definitely those, like they got it all for IMAX, but the chairs still feel like, you know, how do I put it? Like you're on some sort of fucking like you're on some sort of piece of Luan with rebar behind it, just like there's no comfort at all in those things.
That being said, Pat will be going to the movie theater to see.
That's right. I will see Godzilla vs. Kong in theaters. I don't know what night we're gonna go. We're gonna probably buy tickets after this. So, all right. Either way, enough about my life. But yeah, so they're gonna end the HBO Max same day release, which I mean I liked. You guys know me. I don't know about. I mean I don't think you guys actually. Why would I ever think you guys dislike that? You guys probably would have never seen those movies because you wouldn't have gone and saw them, which is a thing to consider. Which is a thing to consider.
There is a lot more accessibility of me being like, oh, cool. Like I can just wait a month, 45 days after this comes out in theaters to then watch it at home on a service I already own.
Right.
Yeah, I'll probably watch it.
And that leads us to our final news topic of the night. The Disney release change date. Yeah, Disney changed a whole bunch of its release dates for the next couple of months going into the summer, starting with like Black Widow's moving from May to, I almost said Black Panther, is moving from May to July 9th, I think, right?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
And it's coming to Disney Premier Access for $30. So once again, it's like, all right, am I going to pay a $30 ticket to go see this in IMAX when I can see it in 4K at home. You know what I mean? For $30 with the whole family too. I don't gotta like split that.
Is an IMAX ticket $30?
It's up there with like tax and everything. It comes out to like $23 for sure.
Oh, okay. I didn't realize it was that pricey.
And then the other thing was that Cruella, I think that only moved like a couple weeks though, right? And then that's on Premiere Access too, and everything else got moved a couple weeks. Like Shanghai got Shang-Chi, not
Shanghai.
Shanghai. Shanghai got moved.
Shanghai.
No, let me see. I pulled up. I got the list. I got it.
Yeah, Cruella's only being pushed back
Like 2
end of
weeks,
May.
right? Yeah.
Yeah.
And I knew it was only like in the beginning of May. So then, what's the other ones? Yeah, so Shang-Chi was bumped to September 31st. Oh, Pixar's Luca
Pixar's
is
Luca
only
pushed back
going to
June.
streaming.
Damn.
Which,
You know what? And that makes a lot of sense to me. Like, because if
think about how
you're a
good
parent-
Soul did.
Dude, I know, but that's what I'm saying. If you're a parent, you want to worry about getting all your goddamn kids vaccinated, bringing them to the movies, licking and chewing the gum from underneath the nasty movie seat. Like,
All
that's
right,
gotta be a
all right.
shit show.
They're
to
kids.
bring.
They're
Like,
not animals.
No,
have you
they're
seen a
animals.
child? Pat?
No, they're animals. All right, so Free Guy went to August 13th. The Kingsman went to December 22nd, which that's one of those movies I don't think will ever get out. Deep Water went to January 14th, and Death on the Nile went to February 11th. So I
I don't
think,
even know what half of these are.
and now
to be
here's
honest.
the thing, it's possible these movies that are on Disney Plus, or that are just going to theater have a chance of making money, because you want to know what we just found out a couple hours ago?
What's that, Pat?
Godzilla vs. Kong has made $130 million in its opening weekend across the globe in the middle of a pandemic. That is unbelievable.
That's pretty busted.
The fact that is the first fucking movie to actually prove that a box office can work at this point during the pandemic is kind of insane. What is it going to look like in the US? I guess we'll find out over next weekend. They have a 5-day release weekend as opposed to a normal 3-day release weekend. And
Weekends are longer in Asia?
no, weekends are longer here, Nick.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah. It's like the metric system.
Yeah.
right.
Yeah, everything's bigger, you know. I'm looking forward to that though. I want to see how because I think Nobody came out and that only made like 6.5 million, you know. So really nothing to, you know, to scoff at, really. You know, it's nothing to make a to do about. You know, it made about what you'd expect that movie to make about in the middle of a pandemic. But this is different. This is a huge IP that has a huge following, and it's in a better time to go to the theater as opposed to, you know, let's say like 3 months ago. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So the fact that we're trailing out is a good thing. This is a good sign. Godzilla vs. Kong is going to save us from COVID.
Gonna save us.
But yeah.
But that being said, like, they are planning on, like, most theaters and everything, and most like services are planning on waiting on that 45-day, let it be on the big screen before it goes to a streaming platform.
service. Yeah. And here's the other
seeming
thing.
to be the rolling out standard continuing.
Also, while we're on the topic of Godzilla vs. Kong, obviously that's going to be next week's episode. I just want to say though that Legendary already got its money for Godzilla vs. Kong because Warner Brothers paid them $250 million to put this on HBO Max legally and still put it out in theaters. So we're definitely getting a Godzilla 3, and I'm looking forward to it. It never stops. Let the wheel keep spinning. All right. So
You've done it again.
Trailer came out, boys. Trailer came out.
Oh shit, I'm looking forward to this part.
Yeah, me too. I actually haven't watched it. So
None of us
For
have seen this, right?
that being said,
we
I
all
did
haven't seen the trailer.
that being said, I did see some screenshots. I don't think any of them were too spoilerific. I saw this amazing one of King Shark. He's ripping a guy in half, and it says, "Damn,
that
Zack Snyder's Finding Nemo is crazy." So, let me bring it up here. Let me cue it up for everyone. Let's just see where we're at. Okay. Okie dokie. Everybody sees that?
Nope.
Oh,
I don't see shit.
I done it now.
You
All
go
right.
and done did it.
You boys see that?
I do. I no longer see Nick and Michigan J Frog. That's his name. But
Oh, Red Band trailer, huh?
Oh yeah, it's gonna be
Mhm.
naughty. All right, let's do it.
kick it off.
Can you guys hear it?
Not yet.
You gotta be kidding me. You're gonna risk the entire mission for a mental defective dressed as a court jester.
It's coming from a guy that wears a toilet seat on his head. We don't leave one of our own behind.
Hopefully Harley's still alive.
No funny business, Colonel. These are dangerous people.
Team 2 is clear to go.
Fire up. 3, 2.
What are you guys doing?
What?
We're here to save you.
You were gonna save me?
It was a really good plan, too.
Well, I can go back inside and you can still do it.
That's patronizing.
I'm so sorry. Harley Quinn.
Blood sport.
Kind of a weird tone.
Yeah.
You know the deal.
Steely Dan?
Successfully complete the mission, you get 10 years off your sentence. You fail to follow my orders in any way, and I detonate the explosive device in the base of your skull.
So this is the famous Suicide Squad.
Jai Courtney, he's back, everyone.
Num num.
Any questions?
And
Yes, that is your hand. Very good.
we're all gonna die.
I hope so.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
Here's the deal. We fail the mission, you die.
If we find out any information you give us is false, you die.
If we find out you have personalized license plates, you die.
What? No.
If you cough without covering your mouth.
Harley, although that isn't an open invitation for you to cough without covering your mouth.
What's the plan?
How the hell am I supposed to know?
You're the leader. You're supposed to be decisive.
And I've decided that you should eat a big bag of dicks.
If this whole beach was completely covered in dicks, if somebody said I'd eat every dick until the beach was clean for liberty, I would say no problemo.
Why would someone put penises all over the beach?
Who knows why madmen do what they do?
This is suicide.
Well, that's kind of our thing.
Don't you worry, eh? I'm gonna get you out of here alive.
I'm going to get you out of here alive.
Oh my god! We've got a freaking kaiju up in this shit!
Oh, nice.
We love the rain. It's like angels are splooching all over us.
What?
She say smooching all
I heard-
over us?
I heard splooging.
Yes, I believe the word was splooging that she used.
I'm just making sure they didn't like do a family friendly version of that. Just that one line though.
What do we think?
I don't know what to make of that.
I thought you were gonna be like,
what-
can I go home now?
I hope we all die.
No, all right. So you guys haven't seen the first one, right?
I've seen the first Suicide Squad.
Oh, you have you?
I have.
And you know what a big piece of shit it is.
And I knew what a horrific, dumpster fire it was. So help me understand. What is this a complete redo? Is this a sequel? Like what's going on here?
It's basically a reboot, and so
With
the story
literally
is
the same people.
well, everyone
Some,
but
or,
Will, everyone
the
but Will
main
Smith,
dude.
everyone but
Yeah.
Will Smith, and even then,
He didn't need to do that
had
again.
Will Smith been coming back, that would have been Deadshot, not Bloodsport, and that's who
Right.
they changed it to. That being said, this whole story, just to give everyone a refresher, the whole reason this movie's being made is because Marvel fired whatever his James Gunn, and James Gunn immediately got hired by DC almost immediately after to do Suicide Squad, and that would be why this movie has a completely different tone than the last one. And it is this watching that trailer, I was like, oh, this is 100% a James Gunn movie. Like, it reminds me a lot of like Guardians of the Galaxy. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Which isn't a bad thing.
Nice of DC to come up with an original idea.
Well, that being said, I think they just keep hiring the Marvel guys to make their movies for them.
And like you were saying the other week, like the Jesse Pinkman, like they can't keep getting away with this.
They can't keep getting away with this.
Why do they just get to redo everything? I mean, I am excited for it. It looks cool.
It does. That's Sylvester Stallone as King Shark.
Yeah.
For a while,
it looks.
For a while, we thought it was Taika Waititi. However, he has a role which hasn't been disclosed yet. Did you guys see the giant the giant starfish? Giant starfish. That is actually the Justice League's first ever canonical villain in the comic books. I think his name is Starbro or Starbury or something. Starmie. Yes, that's it. Yeah. From that game Zelda, the guy with the green hat.
Zelda. How many times I gotta tell you this?
Sorry. All right. Well, I mean, like you guys, it looks good. I like it. It's coming to HBO Max, so I'm sure you guys will see it. And hey, you know what? I think we should do the same thing we did for Justice League. I think we should watch the 2016 version, and then we should watch this version.
Okay, I'm down.
And then we could be like, wow, this is. I haven't seen that movie in a while, but I remember I saw that movie twice in theaters because I went once with my friends in the morning, and then I went like on like a Sunday matinee, like because Liz wanted to see it. So I watched it, and I just remember like the tone of that movie shifts so drastically because it obviously doesn't, like, the trailer company for that movie recut that movie after the horrible backlash to BVS because they wanted it to be more fun and lighthearted and everything, right?
Right.
And obviously it isn't. So what what's it called? But I remember thinking, like, I have such negative feelings tied to that film, and seeing that, I was like, oh, this looks nothing like the last one at all. It's not a sequel. It's like it's its own thing. And Mike, to answer your question about the name, right? When he walked into Warner Brothers, James Gunn, to have the meeting, when they were asking him what he thought about a title, he suggested The Suicide Squad as a joke. He was like, how about The Suicide Squad? And they were like, oh, that sounds actually pretty good. Yeah, you can go with that. Like, yeah, exactly. So that's the only reason why the movie is named the name it is. But also people think, like, since this is James Gunn, it's probably going to be very good. So it'll be the definitive version of The Suicide Squad, at least for right now.
Do-over.
Yeah, pretty much.
It's crazy how, like, you know, we were talking, like, you guys remember, like, I don't know, like, within the last 5 years where people are like, oh, they're redoing all of these old movies, and, like, old movies, you know, when they redid, like, Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, and it's like, no one's got an original idea. It's like, bruh.
Yeah.
Suicide Squad came out, like, what? When did it come out? Like 2015, 2016?
2016. And even to that end, you look at a movie like The Incredible Hulk. That came out in 2003, and then they redid it in 2008. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, the posters look sick too, Nick.
I wish I could get it in better frame, but the poster is incredible. Like this artwork, it calls back to the Dirty Dozen.
Right.
Yeah.
Dirty
Dozen,
good.
Very Star
Wars-y,
also, like.
Yeah.
Also, what's his name? John Cena. That guy. He's not playing Captain Stars and Stripes. That's Kick-Ass. I forget his character's name in this film, but he's getting his own. He's getting his own HBO Max series already. Like, and James Gunn is writing and directing, so they must have been really impressed with his performance. You know what I mean?
Dude, like, he's a very good. I feel he's kind of like The Rock, where, like, in most things it's like, oh, you know,
he's a wrestler.
He's a wrestler. Like, you don't really expect him to be good, but then you're like, I'm very pleasantly surprised, and I would probably enjoy that.
It sounds like expectations are just really low for John Cena.
I'm not saying that's not what I'm saying. But...
Or God, what was the other movie? He was in Transformers. He was good in that. I saw him in that movie Cock Blockers.
He was in
22 Cock Blockers.
It's okay.
Yeah, he was in 21 Jump Street.
He was in 21 Jump Street?
22 Jump Street?
Who was he in 22 Jump Street?
Who were the main people in 22 Jump Street?
That's
Channing Tatum.
Channing
and,
Tatum,
I'm
and
sorry, another
Jonah Hill.
massive, jacked, kind of bald
Oh,
dude.
but guys, Jai Courtney's back as Captain Boomerang. A human thumb got another role in Hollywood.
I saw that.
Have you ever seen Terminator Genesis? The guy is the most unlikable dude in the whole movie. He's such an asshole.
They didn't give him a whole lot to work with. That's
they also didn't. They also didn't give him a whole lot to work with Captain Boomerang in the first Suicide Squad. And right before we change over to our main topic tonight, I just want to let you guys know that they are, the response to this trailer has been so good that they're doing a 4x3 version of the Suicide
in black and white.
In black and
Fuck
white.
outta here.
So now we'll have Justice League, BVS. Everything's getting a 4x3 version now. All right.
So we have I just got word from our producers. We have a picture of Pat at the theaters seeing Godzilla versus King Kong all by himself in theaters.
There I am. There I am. But the embargo doesn't lift till Monday, so I can't say anything.
He flew to Asia.
Yeah,
shaved
but
his beard,
yeah,
the
but
beard.
if I commit the crime in this country, that's the problem. All right, so moving on, boys. There we go. There it is.
Had a little extra roll.
Yeah.
We gotta add like a group of like children going yay at the end.
Oh, it's true. Yeah.
That sound effect when you get a headshot in Halo.
Yeah.
Headshot.
Kill-tacular.
Kilimanjaro. Hell's janitor. Kill-tacular. All right. Anyway, moving on. We watched Invincible this week, which I never read the comic book. I didn't know anything about this till I saw the first trailer. I know it looked really good. I saw there was a lot of gore. It was animation. I was like, I'm in. And I did like it, but I do have some gripes. However, Burke, I'm going to turn it over to you because you seem to be the one that connected with this the most.
I had an interesting time watching it, and I thought there was I'll walk us through a la Pat last week on Justice League. I'm here to take us through these 3 episodes.
A la Pat every week. Okay.
A la Pat every week.
But go on.
As a note, there is a huge spoiler that we're going to talk about. It is on the first episode. It's the end of the first episode.
All right, yeah,
we just want to go through and talk about our first reactions and our feelings to it, and before we get into spoilers and plot points.
Yeah, I'm not going to say anything with that. Overall, my initial reaction was, for those of you who don't know, let me just preface it a little bit. It's an Amazon animated series based on a comic by Robert Kirkman, Cory Walker, and Ryan Ottley. And it's kind of it's like a 45-minute weekly, episodic animated show. So it's interesting. I had not seen anything going into it where Pat was like, I've seen it was gory, I've seen it was this. All I've seen was like when I pull up my Amazon Fire Stick and that little, top bar comes up and it's like Invincible, and it's just got like a really simple cell shaded, or not even cell shaded, but just colored in.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's not cell shaded.
Not cell shaded, just a simple graphic colored in. So it looks like, like early 2000s Cartoon Network, Static Shock, early Justice League.
That's what you think it looks like?
I think it looks like, it looks like Batman Begins or not Batman Begins. What was the young Batman show on Cartoon Network?
Batman Beyond.
It was Batman Beyond. It looks like that kind of thing to me. But overall, I think there's some really cool action followed by a bit of clunky exposition and kind of like awkwardly paced conversation. It definitely grabs my attention. I'm really interested to see where it goes. And I'll grab your guys' opinion before we start breaking it down a little bit more.
All right, I guess first reaction. I thought it was good, and I really like it. However, I think that like it's trying to stride this line between like ridiculousness and like actual serious storytelling, and it hasn't found its footing yet. And I feel like it gets closer to finding its footing with each episode I watched. Because like the particular thing I picked up on, which we'll get into in spoilers, is like they pretty much implement this mechanic where like they don't really say the name out loud for a while. You know what I mean? You guys want to get what I'm saying? So it doesn't it doesn't sound ridiculous until you're attached to a character. You know what I mean?
Yes.
And that's kind of what I felt like at the end of that third episode. Also, like the animation in general. I don't know what is up with the animation. Maybe they haven't figured it out. Like I get every animated show starts off one place and is in a totally different by like, you know, like look at like Rick and Morty. You know what I mean? And the only reason
the animation budget is cheap.
Yeah, and the only reason that Solar Opposites I feel like has the quality that it does is because who's behind it, and they already worked out all those bugs. You know what I mean? For that animation style. Whereas this is just kind of like this new, like it's kind of anime, but not. Like it's got those hard, fine lines.
It's very
but it has
Boondocks.
Yeah, it is very Boondocks. It's got a lot of weird lighting. You know what I mean? The shading is so much different than I've seen before. And the action is like so clunky. It's like when there's small, contained, like little itty bitty fights, it's super tight. But when it's big flying around, it's one of the most poorly rendered things I've seen in animation.
Like, if I can jump in, I feel like this is where I kind of liked it the most. The animation made me feel like I was a kid watching cartoons on the weekend. And I don't know if that was something they were doing on purpose, but it was imperfect and kind of janky, but it didn't take away from me. You know, it just made me feel like I'm watching a cartoon. And I was kind of lulled into a sense of superhero. And then the amount of blood and gore that we saw, that really hit me that much harder.
Yeah, I did love
in a
that.
different headspace.
120%. So that is the big thing that I felt with it was, it was very disarming. The whole first episode, and we'll get right into it. The whole first.
All right, are we doing? All right, we're gonna do. I'm putting the spoilers banner. It's happening. All right, go for it.
That spoilers banner
because
there is.
Spoilers.
It is episode 1. Big spoiler here though. So yeah, that's literally what I wrote down. It reminds me of watching like Saturday morning cartoons. You know, you got this whole comprehensive team of heroes. The audio mix was kind of shitty for most of this. Like,
it was really bad.
Yeah, it was, dude. I couldn't keep the volume up or down or what the fuck.
No background music most of the time. The voices are real low. The explosions are real loud.
Yeah. I was like, the mix is terrible. I'm glad somebody brought that up.
No, it was really so. But like, you're getting off. Like, episode 1 is you're kind of understanding this one guy. He's played by Steven Yeun, and his name is Mark Grayson. And he's waiting basically. His dad is a Superman-esque person. His mom is a normal,
and that's on God, baby girl.
That's on God. So his dad's a Superman, pretty much. Mom is normal, and they're just kind of waiting for Mark to get his powers. And you get like that kind of early Spider-Man vibe where it's like he's trying to figure out what his like he knows what his powers are, but he's trying to figure out how to use them. Has a lot of trouble like landing, has a lot of trouble flying.
Yeah.
You get this like nice connection of a fatherly son.
You want to know what, Burke? I kind of thought about that while like I was watching it. I was like, oh, Nick's gonna like this. And Liz said, why? And I was like, cause no fully formed heroes allowed on Nick's watch list. I was like, you're not allowed to have just a hero just drop in at any point and be like, here I am, I'm perfect. Which, I mean, to your point,
Omni-Man's allowed to be Omni-Man, but anybody else who's new to the game,
give
him room to grow.
Yeah, all right. Actually,
this is what it is.
I mean, like, so I was gonna say about that the cast is good. I do have a note about that. The cast is phenomenal.
Blew me away. Every single person on here is like an amazing actor in their own right, let alone voice actor.
Dude,
you have Steven Yeun, you have Sandra Oh, Jason Mantzoukas, you have Gillian Jacobs, J.K. Simmons.
Mark Hamill was the tailor.
Hamill as the tailor. John Hamm is in it. Seth Rogen is also in it.
Lauren Cohen was she was War Woman, but
every single that Robert Kirkman ever met on TV.
Right.
And we're just scratching the surface. Like that's the top tier, but
that's like, the first episode, 30-40 minutes in, it's like, okay, cool. It's going to be about this teenage kid, very Peter Parker-y, learning about his powers, trying to find a relationship with dad. And then boom, My notes here, I have a big capital, what the fuck just happened?
Oh, at the end of the first episode?
At the end of that, at the
Yeah.
end of the first
I
episode,
will say that it was
they
a
went from
natural.
Static Shock to Attack on Titan level gore, violence, hyper violence.
I
is the
will
only way
I will
to
agree
describe
with that. It went from your everyday run of the mill origin story to like, yo, what? I was like, all right, I gotta see how this ends. Like that's where I was hooked. The stinger.
What
I think-
happens?
I just want to say, like, originally I was kind of like, what's the deal with Omni-Man? His dialogue is weird, and it's kind of like flip-flopping between
Very
fatherly
angry and
figure and then just kind of a dickhead.
yeah.
And then when that happens, it's like, okay, there's something more here, not just underformed dialogue. There's
Yeah.
something else going on.
It's very deliberate the way he speaks too. You know what I mean? He has
Yeah.
very defined intention, and like the way he darts from personality to personality is kind of crazy too. You know what I mean? Where he's just like, how do I describe it? He's very straight for like, son, like tomorrow you and I, Bright and Ori, will get out, we'll train. And in the middle of training, he's like, let me just punch you in the cardiac cavity as hard as I can.
Yeah, that's where I said it's like a little bit clunky with exposition and everything, but like I do have that as a big note. It's like I was like, why is the dad so upset about him getting his powers? He flips back from being like a great metaphorical teacher, like, you know, talking about like, you know, when you're a child, you are learning to walk in balance. This is much like flying. You are like
Right. That helped me understand it more too. You know what I mean?
very strong fatherly figure, and then yeah, just decks the shit out of his son.
Well, that's not even like. What about the woman at the hospital? He's like, "Get my goddamn suit, bitch."
Oh, yeah,
My
that's true.
suit.
I know you got it back there. I don't care how ripped up it is. Now go get it right now, goddammit.
So the thing that I took a note of, and when he's Mark gets like, you know, beat up by a bully in school, because of course it's a high school drama in that way. After he gets his powers and he gets hit a little bit and he's like, oh, I feel like I need to punch something. I was like, okay, so these people from his planet have anger issues, and we're gonna see how that's explored.
Interesting.
Definitely.
But-
But yeah, I have the note for loving gore. I loved that. The end of the he turned that one bitch's head all the way around. Like I was like,
at the end of episode 1, you have this global group of people who is like the Justice League.
I
They
just
all-
hate the compare. I hate that. I hate how everybody. There's a Batman guy.
Everybody
There's a
is a
Superman
straight-up
guy. There's a
knockoff.
Wonder Woman guy. There's a Martian. I'm like, all right, I get the joke already. Like, just do it. Like, make it your own. This is what I was talking about.
But not,
I was
not
like,
only that,
was this a
like, you have
joke?
DC and Marvel characters, like
Yeah. That
yeah,
was
everybody.
that was the other thing too. This goes back to my point about it. Like I couldn't tell if it was trying to be ridiculous and like self-reverent or like it was trying to be serious storytelling. Because here
That's
you
a
have
great
like
point.
all of these like caricatures or like parodies of other real. I don't want to say use the word real, but I guess we'll use the term real more established superheroes in like the same structure and form, and yet like it's trying to be played. You can't not play that for a laugh. You know what I mean?
Right.
You know,
Like,
at least
yeah,
I
if you're
think.
gonna say Darkwing is Batman and the dude looks like Batman.
Yeah, exactly.
But what happens at the end of that episode, this is the spoiler, this is where all the gore comes in, is you have all of them show up to their Justice League headquarters-esque thing. They're like, who summoned us? What's going on? And then you have Omni-Man come in and literally just destroy every other superhero. He takes the Flash guy, just crushes his head, his eyeballs come out, punches through this Green Lantern chick's face. Yeah, the War Woman, the Wonder Woman chick, snaps her neck, turns her around. As her neck's on backwards, she like spits up blood and just falls down. Like smashes in the Aquaman fish dude's brains, its guts everywhere.
So I actually have a question about that. I thought those guys were getting in there to like, you know how like the guys from the Defense Force were getting in there and they put them all on stretchers and stuff, and they put the one guy's head on the little spot and they put the thing over his neck and it stood up and it punched them. I was like, oh, they're actually going to heal all these dudes and then it's going to be a problem for this guy, right? But no,
so
like they're
too.
actually all dead. Like they really all died. It's just that was the show's way of telling us the medical facility has these way crazier technology out there than, you know.
Yeah.
Well, while you bring that up, that the whole whatever that like paramilitary force that they have, it was so cool the way they like were apparitions.
Yeah.
And that demon detective character.
Darkwing
I
Demon.
love all
Oh,
those,
the
That
Hellboy
dude's
demon, yeah.
awesome. That guy
all
is the
those other
shit.
kind of like fringe characters. All the characters I felt like had really unique and interesting characteristics. It wasn't the same old superhero shtick unless they were lampooning a specific
Right.
character.
Right.
Darkwing Demon, though, what I love about him, is it Darkwing Demon? What is it? Demon
No, it's not
Detective?
Darkwing.
Demon Detective or some shit like that?
Yeah.
Either way, though.
Oh, his name is Blue Balls.
Blue Balls.
Balls.
That dude's introduction, how they clear the room and he's like, you can come out, I can see you. And it's like,
Well, they see
there's
the
something
breath.
in the foreground and then the camera pans and there he is. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
And you see that when he's in the house, when he's in the control center, and when he's at the crime scene and at the funeral. Like, that's how they introduce him. I'm like, I want to see how they keep bringing this guy up. Like, that's creative for them every single time. It is
Clancy
good, though.
Brown.
Clancy Brown.
It's interesting. I mean, I feel like, you know, everything really draws off of a lot of like the darker DC kind of elements. You get a lot of like the Watchmen vibes. I found a lot of like the boys mentality in this.
Yeah.
Where, you know, everybody knows there are supers. It's not like supers are protected in some way. There's some kind of government intervening force. But yeah, I mean, like episode that's pretty much episode 1. Episode 2, you start to get introduced to a lot of other characters, some like Teen Titan-esque characters.
Right.
That's where we have like Zachary Quinto, Jason Mantzoukas, that's Gillian Jacobs, or all of these Teen Titan-y kind of characters. It's really interesting. I think, like, you know, we continue to explore more of the anger issues here with like Omni-Man's race, where I think in this episode there's a bunch of invading aliens and everything. He goes back to their planet and just demolishes an entire planet.
That was cool, but I thought the invading alien thing was like a joke. It's like, how many times are we gonna do this scene?
I know.
Well, I mean, like,
it's like,
that
just
was
kill
that
the dude in the beginning. Like,
that was that Saturday morning cartoon vibe. It's like, it doesn't have to be, not like, comic book characters don't have to be grounded in reality. Like, contrary to whatever Christopher Nolan and J.J. Abrams and Zack Snyder want you to think, it can be lighthearted and silly and stupid.
I will say it was funny. It was fun and funny seeing those guys get injured and then come back 3 days later, and it was decades, and that one guy went from like a private who got shot in the eye to now he's like a colonel, and then he went back and he was the general in the power armor, and he was in charge of everything. They had the bracelets and stuff. I thought that whole thing was cool. That was cool, and Omni-Man going back and destroying that place was awesome to watch too. And I like how he even came back like with his
beard.
with the beard and his hair grown out.
He aged differently on their planet.
Right.
That
being said, the personal drama though, it's super teeny. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like I know they're gonna get into more shit. But I kind of felt like, I was like, oh, really? We're going to do this? Like, he's going to cheat on her, so he's going to leave him and then go to the guy that she obviously likes and likes more. Like, you know what I mean? It was that type of shit. And then she sees them making out, like, and thinking, like, you know, that he's not a confused teen boy. You know what I mean? I don't want to make any excuses for anyone being a player. But but my point is just that, like, you know, yeah, pretty much. My whole thing was just that, like, you know, she flew up to his window and saw him making out with her. That could have been, like, you know what I mean? And she was like, oh, you know, good on you, and, like, flew away, right? She could have never done that, and then those two characters could have never seen each other again, and then their relationship to just keep going. Like, you could just start seeing that other person, and then tell the person you were originally with, hey, it's not working out. You know what I mean? That's what it could have been.
So, like, I don't understand what your problem is, though, with it. Like,
it just feels like it's like teen rom-com shit.
It's a cartoon.
No, I know, and I think I get what he means as being like, it's trying to straddle being like an old school-ish kind of like cartoon, but also be a hyper violent for adult drama.
Yeah, that's the mix I'm not kind of getting here.
I
It's
think
not
I
quite
think it
sticking the
works a
landing
bit.
for me.
Like it works all right, and I mean we only have 3
Well, that's what I'm
episodes to
saying.
go off, so we'll see how like if it's an 8 to 10 episode series.
It's 8. It's
Well,
8. And
it's
they're
8,
going to be
right?
sequentially every Friday. So,
Right.
So what I will say about that though is you are telling a story about a 17-year-old kid at the like even if it is like this hyper violent superhero story, it is trying to show you that this kid is immature, and even in the superhero aspect of his life he's immature and doesn't know how to handle his powers. In his normal human side of life he's also immature and doesn't know how to handle day-to-day high school stuff.
like I said, I get that, and I can see the angle they're going for, but I just feel like right now with these 3 episodes, when it works, it really works, and when it doesn't, it's kind of like just sputtering out until it gets to the next part that's awesome. That being said, though,
agree.
I like the characters, I like the cast, and I do want to know where it's going. The one thing I do want to bring up, though, and I said this before, the title sequences, the title cards, it's kind of an amazing idea.
I love it, dude. I have that.
Such like I remember I was like 38 minutes into the first episode, and then he goes, I'm, and it cuts to Invincible, and I was just like, that was a cold open, and I like checked the runtime because I was trying to see how long it was going to be after that. Oh yeah, that's right. There's no opening theme either here, which
Weird,
a lot of Amazon shows don't have, and even by that standard. Then in the next episode, it's like what in the first 10 minutes, like somebody, he like says to that girl, he says, what's her name? Eve. He says to Eve, I'm, and she goes, oh, you're, and it cuts. I was like, oh, I get it. Cause they know it sounds ridiculous. So they're just putting it in your face. And then I think it's after that one is where they start dropping it in conversation more. And then when you get to the Seth Rogen alien fight, and he says like, you're invincible? Isn't that a bit optimistic? I was like, yeah, see, like that's they're working you up to it, which is kind of genius. And
a really cool thing with the title sequence though, and I'm not sure if y'all picked up on it or not. First episode was clean. Second episode had 1 splatter of blood. Third episode had 2 splatters of blood. So it's getting progressively more fucked up throughout.
Didn't notice that, no.
Yeah. So it's going like, so I think that's, very indicative of things seem okay now. And it's just, I mean, everything's going to go to hell. Like that's the only way I can see this whole series playing out is extremely negatively.
Yeah. I'm curious as to why Omni-Man did what he did.
We'll see.
I would say that's a pretty big plot point.
I think there's a huge anger thing or something where it's like they need to kill, like, they have to offset because they go out into the world to do good. And that's part of their
like their purge.
Kryptonian, that's what I'm thinking. I think that they need a purge, and that's why I think he's really nervous for Marty to get his power.
You say Marty?
For Marty, I'm looking at you with the Back to the Future shirt on.
Marty.
Let me ask you this. Did you notice when he goes to the alien planet, he says, Earth is not yours to conquer?
Ooh.
I don't know if that maybe I'm reading too much into that, or is that him alluding to it's his?
I think there's a lot of going to be a lot of misrepresentation or subversion that's coming up.
Unreliable narrator.
Yeah. So I mean, I'm completely optimistic for it. I think generally overall it grabs my attention, but it does feel like it's a little bit late to the party with all of we're superheroes and everything. If this came out 5-10 years ago.
Well, the comic book is from 2003.
Yeah.
Right. So. If this rendition came out, and I understand why they're repopularizing the comic book with everything going on with comics and everything now. But damn, and I know it's an animated show, so it takes a while to do, but it just feels like maybe even 2 years ago, it could have been a little bit prevalent.
Well, especially when you got a 2-man team in South Korea working on this by themselves, it takes a while to do the animation.
Very fair.
I just remember there was a flip he did at one point, and I was like, that could have used 2 more frames, and that would have been so much better. That's all.
They're we're doing this on the 3s, and we're getting away with it.
Why where he's flying, and they keep his body static, and it looks like they just literally keyframe it.
I noticed that one too.
The choppiest, Adobe Flash looking animation thing I've ever seen. But then, also the gore parts were very well done.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Hey,
mean,
man,
with time,
they knew where to spend their money.
as long as
Where to-
it's successful with time, it will get better.
Yep.
You know?
I honestly, like, normally this would be the kind of thing where I take points away, but I really do think it's charming. It really got me on its side. The fact that it was a little kind of fucked up.
Dude, yeah, that's like those kind of shows.
I was surprised
like,
you guys liked it this much. I didn't think you guys are gonna like it.
like I really like those kind of shows where it's very non-traditional and it kind of like flips everything on your head. Like I compared it more to Attack on Titan, which I don't know if either of you have seen, but
No, I haven't.
like it's an anime where it's like a future or a different kind of world and there's a bunch of like giant people monsters that kill people. But it's one of those shows where it's like you get attached to somebody and then they're just brutally killed. Like and it's not even dramatic.
Oh, we're
It's
gonna
like-
get a lot. It's Robert Kirkman. We're gonna get a lot of that.
That's what I'm looking forward to.
Me too.
All right, well, I guess everybody's good on that. Yeah, I guess we'll just keep watching it, and then eventually we'll do a series review.
Keep you all posted. Let us know if you guys enjoy it too.
Yeah, you let us know, please. All right. All right. I haven't done this in a while, or at least I feel like we haven't done it in a while. It's a long while in between these shows.
Oh, yeah, it's the clip of the week. Oh, it's the clip of the week. It's the clip of the week.
I'm sorry, my back hurts way too much to do that.
Just to set this clip up a little bit, this clip was provided to us by my girlfriend's younger sister, Grace. I found this clip on Reddit, and she helped. She added a little bit of editing to it.
Oh, she edited this some. Okay.
Oh, just a hair. Oh.
I did not expect that.
I gotta be honest. I don't know if I could play any more of that because that will get us taken down. But let's see. Oh, look at her.
She's okay. She's okay.
You just bring.
My God, that's.
I don't know if okay is the word for it.
She gets up and goes back for the gas can.
Yeah. That doesn't mean she's not gonna
Hair?
need facial reconstruction.
Can I ask a question?
No, she had a mask on. She's okay.
This was taking place during the riots, right? That's
don't
when this
think
video
so.
is from. I'm pretty sure it is.
I don't know. But
I
that's
might be
that's
wrong.
that's a great note to any of our viewers messing with gasoline. If you pour gasoline on something and let it sit for a while, those fumes sink to the ground. That's what explodes.
Not the liquid.
Not the
fumes.
liquid. The fumes are the dangerous part.
They wouldn't
So if
let
you're
me
looking to
provide
commit arson.
the effects of gasoline on fire. Let's look. Hold on. Oh my God, dude, that fucked her up.
Dude,
I like how
the
she was
way
like, I gotta
crawls
go
up,
back for
she
my
crawls up-
gasoline.
She crawls away. She crawls
She
away like
can't
a
leave the
kid going up the
evidence.
stairs.
Or a demon.
Well, she just saw hell, like
That's true.
firsthand.
Oh man, that
My
was
God,
so
the,
fucked up. I mean, like
the
Jesus
low-
Christ. Like,
Give it
Lowride-
to us one more time.
can I ask like why someone would do this? You know what I mean? If for
I
those who
mean,
are
like-
just listening, I turned down the volume because it's just gonna blow out the fucking speakers. But
yeah.
it's a woman
Copyright
pouring
claims.
gasoline in a Jeep. Looks like a Grand Cherokee 4x4 in the back seat, and I guess she goes to light it and doesn't know basic science, and it explodes in her face.
My God.
Do you think that window was open or did she smash it?
Oh my God, that is.
It
fucking
looks like she
horrible.
tried to smash the driver's side window and that didn't break. So you see it. You see it's all like crunchy.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
You're right.
So she probably got in the back.
You know what? Serves her right. Fucking dumb bitch. Don't do that. Don't fucking set people's cars on fire, you fucking asshole. That's what you
Yeah,
get.
pretty much no matter what they've done, it's probably not a good idea.
I don't know. I'm gonna be, this is guilty until, innocent until proven guilty. I mean, this is literally damning
But-
footage. But
No,
Yeah,
this
Mike,
is
we're
pretty much.
watching the courtroom footage right here.
Yeah.
I want to hear what she has to say.
You're basically seeing her go to jail. That's pretty much what you're gonna see. That's like that fucking TikTok of those idiots firing the fucking guns out of their car and posting it on the internet, and then I think it says something like 72 hours later they're both in handcuffs and in jumpsuits with criminal charges against them. Because like, wow, it turns out if you film something, if you film yourself doing something fucking illegal, they will find you. Okay, and they will find you.
Every single person that filmed themselves raiding the Capitol.
But that's the thing is,
I guess I didn't think about that. That's right. There was an insurrection that was documented by the insurrectionists.
Probably the first time in history.
Fucking idiots, you dumb motherfuckers.
This woman didn't film herself. Somebody else did. Do you think the person filming was the car owner or just an innocent bystander?
No, dude. If that was the car owner, I would have been all right. If that was my car, I would have grabbed whatever object I had nearest, closest to me, and run out there and broke kneecaps. Like, that's what would have happened.
Dude, you're getting a brand new Jeep out of this situation.
Dude, you are getting a brand new Jeep, and, like, you are getting the glorification of being like, no, I didn't do that. That's not me. And then you being like...
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I just... Maybe it's something different. We built differently. That's what it is. We built differently.
Dude, no, this is that one neighbor that everybody's got around that you're always like, God damn, what is Margaret getting up into right now?
This is it. Margaret. This is it. We're getting him kicked out of the HOA. He's finally crossed the line.
I will say, my car, I used to live in Asbury, and my car got broken into several times. And after the second time, I started contemplating, do I want to get a gun? Like, am I just at the point where I'm like tired of my shit being broken into?
Yeah, really.
You should have just put a note on the car. Y'all already hit this car twice.
Yeah, and then it happened a third time, and then I moved out of Asbury.
There's nothing left. Wait, what did they take from the car, Nick?
No, I mean, like, I don't got shit. The first time it was like work stuff. I had like an air compressor. It was like I had to tell my boss like, all the gear from work got stolen. He's like, we're moving anyway. Who cares? And then like after that, it was like just little shit like change out of the glove compartment and stuff like that.
That's fucking petty.
Yeah, but I mean, could be worse.
Thank God you're like none of those movie characters that just leave their keys in the friggin' sun visor, you know? All right.
That's what led me to. It took me 3 times my car to get broken into to realize that the passenger door lock mechanism was broken.
Oh, so
how do they keep getting in?
They just opened your car.
Yeah, they just opened it. I mean, why are you going around trying handles?
That's why they kept hitting your car. They're like, this guy never learns.
Like when we just keep building our rust bases near monuments.
We'll never learn. All right. Well, with that said, everybody, give it up for Mike Burke for leading us through the conversation tonight. He took it upon himself. Here it is. There's what I'm looking for. Yeah. Okay. All right. So, that being said, next week's Godzilla. Like, subscribe, audio versions on multiple platforms. Thanks so much. Let's play Rust.